At 6, Election Day is tomorrow. I'm Angelo Bavar with details on what you need to remember before you cast that ballot, including information on same-day registration.
I'm Kaylee Collins in Newington this morning with an update on the ongoing efforts to battle multiple brush fires all over the state.
A fallen hero is being remembered. I'm Kayla Cade, and coming up, I'll give you a closer look at his legacy.
All local, all morning. This is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Good morning. Happy Monday. Thanks for waking up with us at Fox 61 and Fox 61 Plus America areas.
And I'm Tim Lammers. Good morning to you. We hope you had a good weekend. As you can see, the sun's coming up a little earlier now at 6 o'clock as we get over to Matt Scott. What's it going to mean for temperatures? Bus stop time coming up soon.
Tell you what it's going to mean for the scene at 5 o'clock today. It's going to stink.
Yeah, but we'll get to that later, right?
Yeah.
We're staying positive.
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Good morning to you. It's sun coming up, obviously, a little earlier since daylight saving kicked in, or ended, I should say. Forecast looking pretty good. If you don't mind a chilled start with the temperatures out there. We do have another warm up on the way, though. Definitely not like a typical November forecast. That's for darn sure. Still searching for rain. That too an issue. Dealing with a frost advisory for another couple hours on the immediate shoreline. Again, we talked about this over the weekend. The reason is because the shoreline hasn't seen anything resembling any frost or a hard freeze. So temperatures certainly close enough for that. Satellite radar pictures got a variable cloudy skies out there. We'll see a little more in the way of clouds later on, but here are your numbers. Down to 24 in Willimantic, 29 in Hartford. Little better on the shoreline, but this would be the purest definition of a frost advisory, where most of you are above freezing. Some of you seeing a couple of patches that are not. School bus forecast today. Oh, decent amount of clouds. Temperatures fairly seasonal, getting into the mid-50s later on as the kids get off the bus later on this afternoon, around the 3 o'clock hour, a mere 90 minutes before the sun sets. Coming up, talk about that warm-up. We'll have Election Day forecast weather as well. Stand by. Coming up in about 13 minutes. Rachel Piscatelli, good morning to you on this Monday.
Hey, good morning, Matt. Good to see you. Hope you had a nice weekend.
I did. You?
I had a good one, too, yeah.
Good,
it was overall quiet. Made fettuccine Alfredo yesterday.
Thank you for the invite.
Yeah, no, sorry. Next time.
Yeah.
All right, 6:02 right now. Things on the roads look just fine. I should have brought some leftovers.
Yeah, you should have.
Yeah, no. Missed opportunity. Next time. We are looking okay across the board. Here's what it looks like as you're traveling through downtown this morning with volume that is light and your drive times there. Hartford here, Windsor to the 84 interchange is 3 minutes. New Britain Ave to the Hartford Tunnel is 5. And Route 2, no delays to report. Tim and Erica, good morning.
Good morning
Rachel,
to you.
good morning to you. Thanks so much. Of course, we'll check back throughout the morning. Well, meantime, 6:03, there was an elevated risk for brush fires. It continues to stay high all over the state. 2 weeks since the large Hawthorne fire broke out in Berlin.
Yeah, brush fires have been popping up all over Connecticut, including one over the weekend at Rocky Neck State Park down on the shoreline, and that's still burning. So let's get out to Fox 61's Kaylee Collins. Now, she's live, not down there, but along the Berlin Turnpike with the latest efforts on containing all these fires. Kaylee.
Tim, Erica, good morning. It's certainly been a challenging couple of weeks for firefighters all over the state, to say the least. And as additional fires continue to pop up, it means that their resources have to be rearranged. Now, according to officials, they got reports of a fire over at Rocky Neck State Park in East Lyme just before noon on Saturday. This was in the hiking trails area of the park there. And as of yesterday, the State Department of Energy and Environmental Protection, along with East Lyme fire crews, worked on mopping up the fire there while also working on the fire edge line. Mutual aid additionally came from a hotshot crew out of California. An estimated 46 acres or so have burned at Rocky Neck, and additional assistance is expected to arrive later today, which will include moving some of the Hawthorne fire crew over to East Lyme. Now, as for the Hawthorne fire, crews are making progress steadily. 50% of fire lines are currently contained as of right now. They have a hefty goal of having the fire 100% contained by the end of this week.
All the water operations are going to remain in place through the foreseeable week. Our drop tanks, our hose lines, and all our equipment will remain in place up there. The crews might transition more of that mop-up phase where we're actually getting in and digging up ground to more of a patrol, hopefully by midweek.
Now, conditions all over Connecticut remain dry with more red flag warnings expected to come up later this week. And while a cause has yet to be determined for the fire over at Rocky Neck, officials are urging people to adhere to their local fire restrictions and burn bans that will be in place as those red flag warnings continue to pop up. They're not only dealing with the Hawthorne fire and that fire over in East Lyme, but there's a total of 111 fires burning all over the state. So they definitely need your help in containing and taking those safety precautions. Live in Newington this morning, Kaylee Collins, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Okay, Kaylee, thank you for that report. We appreciate it. 6:05 on this Monday, the funeral for Newtown Assistant Fire Chief Peter Blomberg is scheduled for about 10:30 this morning.
People gathered for his wake yesterday to mourn and pay their respects to his family. Fox 61's Kayla Cage shares how Assistant Chief Blomberg was remembered.
Family, friends, and co-workers gathered at the Honan Funeral Home Sunday evening to remember Assistant Fire Chief Peter Blomberg. That's the sound of police cars escorting Botsford fire trucks from the Honan Funeral Home in Newtown. It's to honor Botsford Fire Rescue Assistant Chief Peter Blomberg, also known as Pete. He was 72 years old. Blomberg was hit by a pickup truck crossing Churchill Road on October 28th, according to police, and was pronounced dead at the hospital. A Facebook post by the Connecticut Fire Chiefs Association says he was on his way to attend a fire commission meeting. According to the Honan Funeral Home's website, Blomberg had a spectacular record of responding to nearly all the calls for service Botsford Fire Rescue received, and was often among those first on the scene at calls in other districts. He's described as a great storyteller, a lover of rock music, and a Harley-Davidson enthusiast. Blomberg was also known to be very passionate and serious about his service to the community, while also telling jokes and talking with others. The funeral service for Assistant Fire Chief Peter Blomberg will be held at the St. Rose of Lima Church at 10:30 a.m. on Monday. In Newtown, Kayla Cade, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
6:07 right now, and Election Day is tomorrow. There's a lot more on the ballot than deciding who takes the White House.
Yeah, Connecticut voters will also weigh in on U.S. congressional and state legislature races. Fox 61's Angelo Bavaro joins us live in Hartford with more on what you need to know. Angelo.
Tim, Erica, good morning. And early voting has now wrapped up. That ended yesterday. So if you have not cast a vote yet, you still want to do that, you'll have to wait until tomorrow, Election Day. The polling locations will be open from 6 o'clock in the morning until 8 o'clock at night. Now, there is a lot to keep in mind. Let's run through some of those reminders for you. If you are not registered to vote, same-day registration is available to all eligible voters. You will have to check in with your city or town, though, on where that same-day registration location is, as that place might not be the same as your normal polling place. And something else, completed absentee ballots must be received, not sent, received by your town clerk via mail, official drop box, or in person by 8 p.m. tomorrow. Now, in terms of what's on the ballot, other than all those races, there will also be a question asking if all voters across the state should be allowed to vote by absentee ballot. Now, we do have as well some important information for voters in North Stonington. That town says people who voted early through October 21st were, quote, inadvertently misinformed about the need to sign their early voting ballot envelope, which is required by law. So voters who did not sign the back of that ballot envelope during the early voting days of October 21st through the 31st should go to the Education Center at 298 Norwich Westerly Road. Again, that is the Education Center, 298 Norwich Westerly Road, tomorrow, Election Day, between 6 o'clock in the morning until 8 p.m. to correct that ballot to make sure that vote does count. We have a lot more information about the voting process on our website. There's a story posted to the homepage of that website. That is fox61.com. We're live in the capital city this morning. I'm Angelo Bavaro, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
All right, Angelo, a lot of information. Thanks so much for that. Well, the FBI says people need to be on the lookout for deepfake videos about election security.
Yeah, intelligence officials say there's at least 2 videos already out there that are made by Russian influence actors. And one of those videos, they said, lies about there being groups that have engaged in ballot fraud in Georgia.
Yeah. Now, the other video spreads false information about an individual associated with the Democratic ticket.
Yeah, the FBI released this statement saying, in part, this Russian activity is part of Moscow's broader effort to raise unfounded questions about the integrity of the U.S. election and stoke divisions among Americans.
This weekend, officials in Washington, D.C. installed security fences. Officials said this is a precaution just ahead of the election to protect critical government buildings from potential protests.
Well, the race for president appears to be deadlocked, as it's been for a while now. According to the latest poll from Siena College and the New York Times, Vice President Harris leads Donald Trump in Wisconsin, Georgia, North Carolina, and Nevada, whereas Trump leads in Arizona. And both candidates are essentially tied in Michigan and in Pennsylvania. Although, in a larger sense, both candidates are tied in pretty much all of the polls I just mentioned, because all of them are still within the margin of error.
Oh, Connecticut's news station is going to have in-depth coverage all throughout Election Day for you. Just download the Fox 61 News app. That's where you can find the 2024 voter guide.